content, and we are going to obviously start with the reaction because that is going to be the majority of the content. Let's be real. So if you guys are unaware, Kim Belair is part, and you must be aware because I've said this in many videos prior, but Kim Belair was at the GDC of 2025. And the GDC is the Game Developers Conference. And she had a panel essentially talking about what it's like to be black in video games or gaming in general. It was the most interesting idea for a panel that they could possibly think of because they can't think 5 seconds past their own race because that's how they make their money. So I figure let's go together and let's react to this particular video and this particular panel. Now, a lot of people have been making fun of this, and rightfully so because of obvious reasons. Let me make sure this is working. Hold on, is this working? Yes. All right, so people have been making fun of this panel. Because honestly, it's a fucking joke. It's a joke like most of the panels that Kim Belair tends to be on. Yeah, that's always, and their only topics. Yeah, I know. It's always about their race, like race, which, by the way, for a panel that's dedicated to black people, they literally have only half of the slide being black. The other half is not even black. Who are these people black? You got Blasian persuasion going on here? Like, what is this? Anyway, so we are going to react to this and see what this is about and to get a general understanding of what it's like to be in the mind of a racial grifter. Might as well check it out. Here we go. But before we do, let's just double check Rumble. Make sure we didn't miss anything. We did not miss anything. Okay. Shout out to Toasty. She is in the Rumble stream. All right, let's go, boys.
All right, Jesus. I'm here representing the mixed delegation. No, I'm kidding. I am a narrative designer, programmer. I run my own studio called Coquito Games. I've shipped Star Wars.
Wait, this is the guy who does Coquito Games? This guy does Coquito Games, the Puerto Rican guy. Why is the Puerto Rican guy in a panel of black, like, it's supposed to be about black people? How did we get here? Why are we here?
Wars Jedi Survivor, worked on Soros at Housemarque, Marvel, Strike Force, Madden 20. I've done a lot. I'm tired. But I'm here for you.
What?
Sorry, got a little issue with the...
What a great way to start the panel. Yeah, I'm here, but I'm tired. Yeah, I'm tired, but I'm here. I'm here. Nice.
Go ahead, talk. Go ahead, Pamela. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Pamela, go ahead.
Did he just stutter? Like he's like, yeah.
Talk about your bio.
Okay. Pamela here,
What the
senior product manager at PlayStation. I've worked on Apex Legends, The Sims, Call of Duty, some Korean MMORPGs. I can't even remember anymore. But a lot of games. I'm also tired because why Friday I'm at 10 a.m. I don't know. And I'm here.
Jesus Christ, bro. The people who are like, I'm tired. Shut up.
And I'll be authentic as I can be without being sued.
Kim, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Kim Belair. I'm also surprised that this panel is at 10:30 on Friday. I'm the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., which, contrary to popular belief, is not a DEI company, but a narrative development company. We do, thank you, we do a ton of writing, narrative design, narrative consultation on a ton of different projects, including Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake 2, the recent Afterlove EP, God of War 2, probably some other seasons.
So she says that it's not a DEI company, but she's on a panel that's specifically talking about what it's like to be black in the gaming industry, which is a talking point that is surrounded by diversity, equity, and inclusion talking points, which is DEI. But no, she doesn't run a DEI company. No, not at all. Even though every panel she talks on is literally about DEI. Interesting.
Things that end in 2, and we continue to have we've worked on about 100 games so far and continue to do so, based in Montreal and around the world.
All right, and Jabari.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here on this early Friday. I'm Jabari Ali. I am the Oakland site director for the Hidden Genius Project, where we train and mentor young black boys in technology and leadership. I'm also the founder of Plus Arcade, where we develop video games and also curate social experiences for gamers.
All right, man, for some reason my laptop reversed it, so I'm just trying to figure out why I did that. But let's go. I'm Carl Bernardo. I write a narrative director for several different companies.
Why does this guy talk like that, bro? This guy's mumbling so goddamn much. What the fuck? I can't understand half of what he's saying. What was his name? Carl Bernardo? Okay. All right, here we go.
I just worked on Dragon Age Veilguard, and I worked on Need for Speed Unbound. And
Oh, no wonder he worked on Dragon Age of Veilguard, so he's traumatized. That's what it is. He's traumatized. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, we understand now. We understand.
And Wildflowers, which won Game of the Year, and Street Fighter 6. So we'll get started. Hold on, I've got to fix my slides. Hold on, I don't know why my slides went, but that's because I have to show this disclaimer that's very important to this panel. So, 1 second.
Until then, briefly enjoy the serenity of the woods.
Yes, I just don't know why it reversed. Can I get a tech assistant up really quickly? There you go. Okay.
Perfect.
Why does he say that? Why does he do that? Do you guys hear that? He does a. What is that? What is that? Is that like? Isn't that like a certain disease or something? He's talking. He's like, "Can I get a tech assistant up here?" What the fuck is that? What? Help me understand. Is that trauma? Is that trauma? That's his nerves? I don't know, bro. Well, good job proving you're a DEI hire because you can't even get your fucking slides up and everything. You need a tech assistant. You need a tech assistant to handle your own slideshow. Goes to show. Goes to show.
All right. Really important. The views, opinions, and side eyes expressed by the panelists in this session are entirely their own and do not reflect those of other employees, former employees, hopeful future employees.
Wait. There is a disclaimer on this. What do you need a disclaimer for on this? What do you need a disclaimer? I don't understand.
That one company that ghosted them after the third interview. Any similarities to real companies, managers, Slack threads, or team leads who say things like, "We're like family here," are purely coincidental and or painfully accurate. Panelists are hereby absolved of all responsibility should their comments be used in HR documentation, screen grab for Slack DMs, or whispered about in studio kitchens. Additionally, the organizer of this panel would like to clarify that any references, real, implied, imagined, speculative, or sarcastic to the current political administration's stance on DEI belong firmly on the realm of parody, critique, satire, and deeply cultural concerns. We are not responsible for any federal rollbacks, awkward memos, or sudden disappearance of DEI tabs on company websites.
What?
Please direct all complaints to... Oh, I'm sorry, we can't find that link.
Bro, he did it again. He did it again. He did it again. He's like, "Oh, we can't find that link." What? What the? What is that, bro? What is that? Wait, go back really quick. Play that again.
Concerns. We are not responsible for any federal rollbacks, awkward memos, or sudden disappearance of DEI tabs on company websites. Please direct all complaints to... Oh, I'm sorry, we can't find that link.
Oh my god. He's like, what are you, dude? Look at the guy on the left. Look at the guy on the left. He's like, "I can't with you, bro. What the fuck is wrong with you?" He's like, you make me sick. Bro, these are your leaders in Black excellence, right? These are your leaders. These are the people who are like, "Yeah, we totally belong where we are. We're not DEI hires. No, not at all. We can't even run a freaking panel right now. Our slideshow doesn't even work. But trust us, we totally know how to make video games. Yeah, we'll be fine."
So this is the way this works. I give my panelists scenarios happen at companies, and they answer their questions honestly. None of my panelists have ever seen the scenarios before they come up, and I'll give my first scenario now.
All right, let's go.
And I open up to anybody on the panel. Scenario 1, your company just announced major layoffs, and you notice that a large percentage of those let go are black and other marginalized employees. HR assures
Bro, can you
everyone
read? Are you nervous? Are you nervous, bro? Like, come on, you can't even read.
that decisions were purely financial. How do you raise concerns without putting yourself at risk?
It's that last part that gets me, though.
Yeah.
You can't.
You can't. What do you mean?
You cannot raise concerns without putting yourself at risk. HR is not there to benefit you. They're there to protect the C-suite.
So what should you do then in that situation?
I guess it really depends on your priorities, you know. How much money do you have saved to make sure you got rent paid?
I'm still trying to understand why they had a disclaimer that is somehow what's the disclaimer going to do? It's gonna make people not react to this video? Is it gonna make people not like? I don't understand. Is it supposed to protect them from their companies that are gonna hold them accountable? I mean, one of them is the CEO of her own company, so what's she gonna do? Fire herself? No. It's the weirdest disclaimer.
You know what I'm saying? If you got a nice savings, then, you know, yeah, you should speak up, right? We really need to have each other's back. If you ain't got none of your savings, you might need to hold it in for the moment and, you know, be a little better on saving that up. But no, in all seriousness, it's a very tricky thing, but really want everybody to know that, like, HR is actually not there for you. I'm sure plenty of us have learned that the hard way. Really, the best thing you can do with HR is make sure that things are documented, that there's a paper trail, a written record of things happening, but they're going to look at the company's interests first.
Gotcha.
I want to bounce off that too. You know who is there?
I'm sure you want
friend.
to. I'm sure you want to bounce off that. I'm sure. You know what's kind of sad? So what's sad is that if you look at this front row here, there looks to be a lot of young black people here, right? Maybe not a ton, but I mean, there's a few. It's hard to tell. But there's a lot of young black people here. And these young black people are genuinely going to listen to these fucking retards. And this guy over here on the left is essentially telling the young black people over here in the front that it doesn't matter what they say or do, that HR is going to inherently not even care or be on their side or anything like that. So you're already setting them up to have a certain mindset and to view things immediately negative without even realizing whether or not that's true, based on your own personal experiences. You know, it's kind of sad, man, because these guys, you know, they clearly want to learn. They want to learn and they want to do things within the gaming industry, but then they have to look up to these retards, man. This guy can't even talk. This fucking guy in the middle can't even talk. He's too busy going, like, it's ridiculous. Kim Belair, we already know where Kim Belair is. And then this guy on the left just seems wholly uninterested. I don't understand why we got these two people on the right that aren't even black involved in a conversation about black people. I don't understand why that's even a thing.
And you know, if you just happen to have friends that work in journalism, I'm not saying, you know, you need to tell them your name, but if they have an anonymous tip under their door, you know, just also make friends with lawyers.
Got you. You know what? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think.
Wow, that happened to be advice that pretty much a certain journalist has taken advantage of. Interesting. Make friends with lawyers. Well, don't worry, because the people you claim to hate have also made friends with lawyers. It's not just you. So don't worry about that. Yeah, these people are crazy. They're insane. Make friends with lawyers and apparently tell certain journalists. What did he say? Tell certain journalists their name so that why? So they could run. So you're admitting that journalists run defense for developers. Is that what we're admitting now? Because last I was told that's not true. Last I was told that's not a thing. So now we're admitting that you run damage control for journalists. Oh, I'm sorry. Journalists run damage control for you guys. That's interesting.
I think that the question of like, how do you not do it? If you are a black employee and all the black folks are getting laid off, you are already at risk.
Right.
You know, so at this point, I think it really is that like that strategy. It's do you go to HR or do you just hide out for a bit? But yeah, going to HR, I think is. I mean, it's to get it on the record. Like I don't know what the relationship between the me and HR would have to be for me to go.
I'm driving people crazy with the laugh. They're like, stop doing it. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Like, I think I'm gonna bring this up instead of just going like, I'm packing my bags and then I'm gonna say, hey, I noticed something crazy about the layoffs.
I agree. I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with some of the points. But
Oh, did a non-black person just interrupt the voice of a black person that was speaking on a panel that's about black excellence? What?
all of the points. I do agree that HR is not your friend. It's usually like if you complain to HR more times than not, you're the one who's going to be in trouble. But the resources and allies that you can find within the company are the ERGs, because the ERGs usually have some kind of executive that's navigated the situation before and can walk you through maybe what's happening. So like, for example, a lot of times these layoffs happen because of strategic changes. And if you notice, like if you're a, water polo company and most of the customer service people are let go and the people like the fabric designers aren't.
That is such a massive bullshit, by the way. You see how they try to spin it, right? You see how they try to spin it? So she said most of the layoffs happen because of strategic changes. Really? Are we coping like that? Are we in denial? What are those changes exactly? Oh, could those changes be that you fucked around and find out that you haven't made the money that you need to make and you have to change by downsizing? But they use certain words that make it sound better, right? They use certain words that make the whole situation sound better. This is why she's the kind of person that will put out the letter whenever there's layoffs and talk about how amazing the developers are that got fired. She's the kind of person that would do something like that. This is why they do that.
Not like that was a strategic initiative. So the question I would then start asking within the company is, how do we get more people of color in like the core parts of the business so they're not in these vulnerable positions to be laid off? And it's more about like the layoffs happened. You can't do anything about that, but it's more about preventing them for the future. So like I think the consulting industry has great examples of this, where they start having apprentices, work as consultants and move their way up, so they actually increase their diversity numbers like substantially and sustain it, as opposed to just kind of trying to like plug in people of color in any remedial job that they can find just to look good, as opposed to having meaningful learning and impact.
Yeah.
Whoa. Hold on. So do we have an admission of DEI hiring? She just said that what they're doing right now is plugging in people of color in any remedial position that they have available. Do you guys see that? Is that an admission of DEI hiring? Wow. This is interesting. I know this panel has crazy people, but this is actually very interesting information. I think it's pertinent for people's knowledge.
Got you. If it was me, I think what I would do is I would meet with my friends preeminently, and I was like, okay, tell me all your wins last year, and tell me all the problems you solved for your boss. So everybody have a list of what every problem everybody else like does, because people are fairly selfish, and like there can be like high level like firings. There's also like making my life easier as the boss, right? So like if you can go to people that are above you and say, well, they're going to fire him, but man, he's the one that always fixes that thing. And they're like, yeah, I don't want to deal with that. So like you make it a selfish kind of motive for the boss to keep that person around, because there's a selfish initiative for them not to get rid of them, because it makes their life harder. And I found that people that are in charge always work out of their own interest of like how their life is easier by these people that work for me versus making life harder.
As a final aside to that, if you're a coder, this is very easy. you can just take screenshots of your perforce submits and keep a log of that. So when people like come to you and are doing those evaluations where they decide if you're going to keep your job or not, you can just point to that and send them a list of everything you've done for the company.
Right. All right, next one.
So from what I'm getting from this is that the layoffs and the firings are so dramatic over the last year or two that this entire panel, in the beginning anyway, seems to be dedicated to what to do under that situation if you are a black person getting fired, which is just, I don't know, it's just weird.
Your ERG is given 0 funding this year, but you're still expected to run Black History Month programming. Leadership says, we trust you'll find creative ways. How do you push back? Be inventive with no budget. Who wants to go first?
That's as close as you can get to asking me to do a little dance, unfortunately. Because I think if you're like, get creative, you'll figure it out. Like, you're kind of asking me in my human body to maybe like do a thing. And I think at that point, I'm going to anticipate that the folks who gave me 0 funding aren't going to remember I agreed to this.
Gotcha.
And I'm probably going to let it slide. And then I'm going to figure out something with my friends that we can do. And at best, I could always push for like, if we have no budget, maybe we could just take a day off. maybe everybody.
Okay, all right.
Team.
Day off for Black History Month.
Don't think they're going to let it happen. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's going to let it happen. I'm just probably going to not do it.
All right. What else?
I'm petty, right? So like,
Shocker. He said I'm petty, and this guy was like, I can't with this fucking panel, man. This panel is just, oh my god, dude.
I'm gonna have a cookout, and I'm gonna have it sponsored, and I'm gonna have my name on it and not the company's name on it. It's gonna be the Girardi cookout, not X company.
Girardi cookout, Black History Month cookout?
Yeah, because they ain't paid for it.
Across the street or like
It's
campus?
it'll be the collaboration.
That is petty. That's real petty.
Yeah. But like real talk. If they're not supporting your initiatives, that means they don't actually care about the things you stand for and represent.
Yep.
Why should they? Why should they? That's what I'm trying to understand. Why should the company care about your social cause? Why? What's the point? Since, like, I never in my life worked for a company and thought to myself, gee, I really hope this company supports my social cause. I really hope this company supports whatever. Maybe because I wasn't an activist, or maybe I didn't think the whole fucking world revolved around me. But, like, you're there to do a job. You're not there to be an activist. So what does it matter whether or not the company actually supports your social cause or not? It matters none. It matters literally zero.
And at that point, it's actually a much more difficult conversation because I don't want to stay somewhere where I'm not appreciated. And I have been.
You being appreciated should not be relevant to whether or not the company can do activism on your behalf. The company can appreciate you and also not want to, support your social cause. Your social cause is for you and you alone. It's not for anybody to be forced to support. And if you think the entire fucking world revolves around you, then that's a problem in and of itself, and you're letting your narcissism shine through.
In this scenario, actually.
Really?
Pretty close to it, yeah. And I still did my job, but I didn't do more than they were paying me to do. Let's put it that way.
Gotcha. Okay. Anybody else? Okay.
Well, I just kind of like, this is just not new for me because it's like I've been volunteering for these type of initiatives before funding wasn't even a thing. So it's just getting back to the heart of what an ERG is. It's about community. It's about building community, and I don't need a budget for that.
Gotcha.
And if like
we select money though for it. If you not, they're not saying don't give budgets. You're just saying that you can do it without a budget, but still give money.
Even if they remove my budget, I can build community for free. I mean,
Gotcha.
Discord is free. Like doing a little conference room meetup is free. Just randomly pranking my coworkers is free. Like Black History Month prank, that's free.
There are some odd Black History Month choices for you guys.
What was that? What was that? He said there were some odd choices for Black History Month. You're like, what is that? I need to know what that is. that has to have like a classification. He was all in on that one. He was just like, I can't explain it. I need to know. I need to know what it's called. Give me the Tourette's. There ain't no Tourette's. The fuck, man.
I'm just saying, as an observer, like pranks, days off, cookouts, like, do y'all do anything educational?
Look, we've got no budget.
You got no budget.
I don't know about you, but a cookout can be very educational. You know how much gossip?
Wait, he's capable of a regular laugh. Hold on, that's shocking. He's capable of a regular laugh, so why is he going? The hell? Does he have a neck? No, that's why he sounds like he can't breathe.
I learned.
I did not know how much gossip you learned. I'd like to hear that after the show.
We got tea. That's the whole point of the cookout.
All right. Next one. Why are you not working? Okay. A new game proposal is rejected because black characters don't sell. How do you challenge this?
All right. So when I told the
Wow.
story at the other panel too.
So you know what's amazing? That scenario, black characters don't sell. This is something that we talk about all the time, where the industry views black original characters as something that's not worth it, which is why they focus so much on race swaps. And they never want to admit it publicly as a thing. And yet here you are, you have the GDC, and they're using that as a scenario, which proves that this has to be a conversation that pops up somewhere, somehow, sometime during some studios. It has to. It has to. And this is why race swapping is such a thing all the time. This is why sex swapping is such a thing all the time. It's because they don't see legitimacy in original black characters. They only see legitimacy on characters that were established prior, and most of them happen to be white. Most of them happen to be white. And then here's the amazing thing. Right? When these same people get their hands on characters that were originally black, and they then have to remake them for modern day versions of themselves, they can't even figure out what to do with it. Because the entire time their creativity dwindles down to essentially, oh, let's make something that's white black. So when it's already black, they don't know what to do. You know how I know this is true? Because imagine struggling writing a script for Blade. Imagine struggling writing a fucking movie script for Blade. How can it be hard to write a movie for Blade? Blade is such a simple concept. All people want to do is see Blade kill some I just don't understand.